Okay, troop leading process. I'm glad to get back to leadership. I want to talk more about that on this channel, but there's so many other things that are exciting to talk about that I often get distracted. Still, leadership and all the things that it touches and does, that's a bit of a passion of mine. So very happy to be getting back to this at this point and hope to do a whole lot more with leadership, leadership development and research and discussions here on this channel. All right, troop leading process, TLP. And TLP is used throughout the United States Armed Forces. Frankly, it's becoming more and more common throughout interagencies at the federal and state level and throughout even our allies. Now, a couple of things what troop leading process is and a couple of things of what it isn't. It's very commonly stated that TLP comes from the MDMP, the military decision-making process. That's not true. It's the other way around. That MDMP comes from and through TLP. You know, it's a small distinction, but an important one. And what I mean by that is troop leading process often is done by a command team, as we'll discuss in this video. It's done by a command team, but ultimately can be done and is overseen, that is, oversight is provided by a single leader, a single commander. So it's a individual process that then is shared across and coordinated and synchronized across a command team. The MDMP is a process that is shared across a battle staff. Can a command team do MDMP on its own? Yes, but it's pretty anemic because you don't have all the assets and technical expertise to really come to a sound decision through MDMP with just a command team. So the command team uses TLP. By the way, it's worth noting that the Marine Corps has its own acronym, and in some way I think I'm almost envious of this. It's a pretty cool acronym called BAMCIS. It is BAMCIS, and what that stands for, it's an acronym. It stands for Begin Planning, that's the B, A, Arrange for Reconnaissance, M, Make Reconnaissance, C, Complete the Plan, I, Issue the Order, and S, Supervise. BAMCIS is a 6-step process. TLP is an 8-step process. They merged a couple of those steps, then they broke out a couple, but it's essentially just lockstep with TLP. So why do the Marines use BAMCIS? I don't know, a piece of history, but it gives them this expression, you know, like we say hooah in the Army and they say oorah. Well, they've got another one that they pull out. When they see something really being done well, they say BAMCIS. And we're not that cool in the Army. We don't go, yeah, T-E-L, TLIP. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Anyway, they are the same though, just so you know. They really are. There's just nuanced differences. So here's the thing about TLP. It is not sequential. I'm going to say that again. It is not a sequential process. It wasn't meant to be step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. You can come into TLP anywhere in the process. That said, it's close enough to a sequential process because the overwhelming trend is that we do start at step 1 and finish at step 8. But I think the other thing that they're saying is that you really can at different times for different reasons, pretty rare, but you can come in at step 4 and continue to go through because, and this is the important because it's a reiterative process. That is, sometimes you have to go back. You get new information, you have to go to an earlier step that you thought you've already covered and completed, and you're like, oh no, this is new information, I need to go back. So I think the more important way to say this is that it is a reiterative process that is certainly allowed. I'll list off the 8 steps of troop leading procedure or troop leading process, and then I'll back up and we'll go through an example and talk through each one, okay? Step 1 is receive the mission. Step 2 is issue a warning order. Step 3 is make a tentative plan. Step 4 is initiate movement. Step 5 is conduct reconnaissance. Step 6 is complete the plan. Step 7 is issue the order. Step 8 is supervise, inspect, rehearse, and refine. Does that sound a whole lot like BAMSIS? I don't know. Let's go back and check. Begin planning, arrange for reconnaissance, make reconnaissance, complete the plan, issue the order, and supervise. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Honestly, I prefer the troop leading process just because I think it's better codified, it's better drawn out, but either one is fine. So I say we start at receive the mission. Receiving the mission is very commonly the first step, and this happens in one of two ways. In the military, we think, well, someone comes and tells me what we're going to do. Hey, I got a mission for you. This is what you're going to do. You're going to jump into France and go hook up with partisans and do reconnaissance, and then swim the English Channel and come back. Really? A reconnaissance mission in northern France? Yay! So that's how it happens, but sometimes, and I think this isn't discussed often, that's not how it happens at all. Sometimes receive the mission means take the initiative yourself. You see something that needs to be done, stop, formulate a plan, and get on that. That's what warrior leadership is about. Seeking the initiative, taking the initiative. And so as long as it's within your nested, commander's intent, yeah, seek the initiative. All right, and so that's often how we do receive the mission. More commonly, we are told, hey, you, troop, go do this thing. And then we go do the thing. So receive the mission. What's our mission today? I tell you what, you're going to a one shepherd semester. That's right, yay, we're going to a one shepherd semester. You get to go train. Yeah, warrior leadership. Who doesn't love that? So this is great. Great news for you, one way or another. Who told you? I don't know. Doc Larsen called you up and said, yo, you're going. Something like that. Anyway, so you're going, and this is good news. So now you've got to start thinking about the 5 W's. This is all inside of receive the mission. Whoa, I'm going to do this thing. What are the 5 W's? Well, who, what, when, where, how, and why, right? You might even throw how much. But most critically are when and where. Your questions are, wait, when am I going to a one shepherd semester? Oh, in October? Is that with Bravo Company in Missouri or West Virginia? Is it Alpha Company in Missouri? Is it Charlie Company in Arizona? Who knows? But the point is when and where. Those are your 2 most critical questions that you need to know. Once you receive that mission and answer those 2 questions, when and where, you issue a warning order immediately. Who do you issue the warno to? Well, I'm glad you asked. For going to a one shepherd semester, you might turn to your spouse right away and said, oh, hey, guess what? I'm going to a one shepherd semester. In fact, the spouse might be the one who told you could go. But you know what I'm saying. You got to coordinate with family and loved ones. If you're working, you better say, well, I'm going to a one shepherd semester. I better talk to my boss or professor if you're a college student. I'm going to turn to my friends and tell them, particularly if some of my friends are going with me, that becomes my team, right? What, we're all going to that one? Awesome, road trip. So you start talking to your team. So that's who do you tell? Who's the warning order? It goes to your team, and your team can be pretty expansive. Obviously, it's not to tell everyone. Now, there is operational security and communication security. We have to consider that. But you do tell all the people it's going to impact and the people you need support from. So, more information is better. But at the very, very, very minimum, you've got to say 3 things to them. Once you identify who you're telling, you've got to say what the mission is, the time of the operations order, and the place of the operations order. Again, what's my mission? Well, I'm going on a one shepherd semester next October with Alpha Company in Missouri. Now, I don't have a lot of info, but I'll give you more information at this time and this location. Next Tuesday evening, 6 o'clock in the kitchen. I don't know, but time and location of the operations order, the op order, and the mission itself. Those are the 3 things you have to say in a warning order. Again, more information is better. Why is more information better? Good question. It's better because it allows people to prepare, mentally prepare, and they start going through, my husband's leaving for one shepherd for a week in October. He's going to Missouri. What does that mean I need to do? Oh, I need to do X, Y, and Z. I've got to take over certain duties. I've got to make sure we have the finance, the budget, the whatever it is. And so it allows, more information allows them to start going through their own preparation, right? And by the way, it's funny that that's what they're doing because that's what you're doing. Step 3 is make a tentative plan. So you're going to look at all those things. What? I got to look at weather and budgets and my bosses and this, that, and the other thing, and what I'm going to sign up for and register for and all of this stuff. So you're making a tentative plan, and it involves all of that. So I would recommend it starting at commander's intent. And we've done an earlier video of that. I'll try to put it somewhere in a call out there. But anyway, the commander's intent, you're really looking at purpose, key tasks, and end state. Again, purpose, key task, end state. Notice purpose answers the why. Why are we doing this? Okay, so that does answer the why. I told you, we'll answer through the troop leading procedures. We'll answer eventually all of the W's. So make a tentative plan. Start with your commander's intent. Yes, consider movement, or weather, consider all sorts of stuff. And then step 4 is initiate movement. This one, to me, it's kind of confusing. Not on a grandiose scale. If you're looking at a division that's going to, we're going to go to Poland to do whatever for Ukraine. Great. All right, I get it. So you have to say, well, we're going to initiate movement at this point. At a lower level, what this means for me is to pre-position gear, funding, whatever, pre-position resources so that this movement can happen. Now, I also will, if I'm working with the team, I'm going to either move those resources to a tactical assembly area or at least identify a tactical assembly area for my team to say, okay, this is where we're gonna pile resources. So that's initiating movement. And I've asked this question, why is that step 4? And the best answer I've ever gotten is because it needed to be in there somewhere. And why not step 4? Instead of step 7 or step 2, step 4 just makes sense. And so, we need to initiate movement at some point, and that is step 4. 5, conduct reconnaissance. Okay, so reconnaissance is ongoing, never ending. It's before, during, and after. And remember that reconnaissance can throw a wrench so big into our plan that it actually just cancels the entire mission. So it's critical. Now, the map recon, we're going, okay, well, wait, I'm going to Missouri in October. Okay, shouldn't have to deal with snow or anything yet. That's good. But it is going to be cold, and I better start looking at weather. I'm going to look at I'm going to go on Google, and I'm going to look at my map reconnaissance. I'm going to look at alternative routes. I'm going to look at where are my stopping waypoints. Can I get there in a single day drive, or is this a 2-day drive? Do I need to stop somewhere at a hotel? I need to look at choke points that cause me to look at alternate routes. You're looking at all that. Who else is coming? Who else might I carpool with? This is conducting reconnaissance. Hey, what are we teaching this semester? What will I be learning? How do I pack best to get the most out of that experience? That's all sorts of reconnaissance that you're going to do. Step 6, complete the plan. At some point, you've got to finalize. You initiated, a tentative plan. You've got to finalize that. Now, we'll talk about combat orders in a later video, but you want to shape your plan into the 5 paragraphs of combat orders, and that is situation, mission, execution, service support, and command and signal. So again, we'll go deeper into that, but that's usually the plan takes some form of that, of this situation, mission, execution, service support, and command and signal. When you complete the plan, then you move to that time and location. Remember I said next Tuesday is 6 o'clock in the evening at the kitchen table. You move to the place where you're going to issue that plan. When you issue the plan, here's the plan. This magically, fairy dust is sprinkled over it, and it magically, as you issue it, leader, it becomes the operations order. No longer the operations plan, poof, magic, it's now an operations order. I just issued the plan, it's now the operations order. Let's hear a back brief. What did you hear me say? Well, I heard you say this. I heard you say that. I heard you say this. Good. That's great. A back brief is your first rehearsal. So that's issue the order. Step 8. Supervise, inspect, rehearse, refine. Remember that this plan, it's still your responsibility to supervise it. And through inspections and rehearsals, these are the ways by which you find flaws in the plan, and so that you refine the plan. Remember, rehearse and inspect. No one makes a stupid plan on purpose. We just don't do that as humans. But through inspections and rehearsals, at least rehearsal of concept, a rock drill, we see the error of our ways. We learn the error of our ways and we can refine our plan. What do we call refining a plan? Well, we call that a frago or a fragmentary order. Okay, so again, that's all combat orders. We'll discuss that at a later video. But that is how we refine. The frago allows us to refine, and of course we do that through a process of discovery, which again is the inspections and the rehearsals. That is it. Once again, it truly isn't sequential because it's iterative. We have to come back to other steps sometimes, but it is receive the mission, issue a warning order to your team, make a tentative plan, get that commander's tent going, initiate movement, pre-position your resources and at least identify a tactical assembly area. Conduct reconnaissance before, during, and after, right? Get on Google Maps. Complete the plan, shape it into 5 paragraphs. Issue the order, ta-da, the plan just became the op plan, just became the op order, it's magic. And then supervise, inspect, rehearse, and refine, issue the fragos to correct the plan as you move forward. That's the troop leading process. That's BAMPSIS. And again, the MDMP flows from this very individual skill and competency to a battle staff team competency of the MDMP. Okay, thanks for joining us.